looking back at this example, I was able to see how this situation, and we were so scared at first, actually turned out to be one of our biggest blessings. Unexpected events, unexpected change, also called disruptors, they can occur in any shape or form, and this is the truth, they are to be expected. It is no coincidence whatsoever that some of the most successful businesses out there have all been founded during crisis, during financial crisis, during the situation we've been in the beginning of the decade. Hi and welcome back. I'm Catherine Louise. I'm a business and mindset mentor, and I help women becoming their happiest, most fulfilled, and best selves. So if this is something you're interested in, please make sure to subscribe and follow along so you will not be missing any further teachings I'm going to share with you. Let's talk about how we can navigate through uncertain times and can actually handle unpredicted change. Because let's be honest, this is one of those things that cause the most anxiety among us human beings, and this is something we really have to learn how to handle. As a matter of fact, uncertainty and also unpredicted change, as scary as it may sound, can actually be a beautiful gift if you just know how to recognize it. But let's start with a harsh truth, and probably the things that we tend to be most scared of. Unexpected events, unexpected change, also called disruptors, whether it might be in our career or private lives, maybe concerning your family, your love life, your friendships, your body, your overall health, mental health, or maybe your career or job. They can occur in any shape or form, and this is the truth, they are to be expected. As a matter of fact, no human being ever, doesn't matter where they come from, how they were raised, their background, their ethnic, whatever, is never experiencing any kind of disruptors of this kind, because guess what? Life is never linear for nobody. I really wanted to start this episode by sharing this with you because I need you to understand that you are, if you're currently going through a phase like this, you are not alone. And even if it may seem to you right now like you're looking around your friends, your family, your colleagues, everybody seems to be happy and fulfilled and have all the things they want in their life. Does that sound familiar? But no, that's not what it is. No life ever for no human being is linear. Guess what? We have all been there. We will, unfortunately, get there again. And just because people seem to be a certain kind of way, it doesn't mean that they're not struggling right now. I really want to share something really crucial right now with you. So I need you to pay all of your attention to me right now, please. Because this is something about the process of navigating uncertain times and, dealing with unexpected change. The uncertain times you're dealing with right now, the change you have not even asked for, most probably feels very chaotic, very messy, maybe even painful. And I right now need you to take a step back in order to understand that where you're at right now, you are in the middle of a process. So the situation you're in right now in your current stage in life, or maybe you're not in it right now, then you want to remember back to uncertain times or when things have been changing and you never asked for it. That actually was a process. And all of those overwhelming feelings, when you felt them, you were actually right in the middle of the process already. And why is that? Well, very clearly, the whole process has already started at the moment that you were confronted with this uncertainty or change first, maybe even before you just weren't aware of it, most probably, and that's most of the times the case. And then when you feel all of those emotions and you feel so lost in it, That's actually the middle of the entire process. So you may wonder right now why I really need you to understand it. It is because in that middle of this process, when you're so wrapped up in your emotions, which all of them most likely not going to feel good, it takes you to a place where you are not able to see your options. When we're so focused on one thing, we cannot see another one. Just give me one really simple advice. I want you to take a look around now, wherever you're at right now, wherever you're listening to this episode, wherever you're watching this episode. I really need you to now take a look around in the room you're at. Maybe you're on a train, whatever. And I want you to focus on everything yellow. Like, hello, in case you're listening to the podcast right now, I'm wearing a yellow button down. That's why I say hello. So please take a look at everything yellow and focus on that. Okay? You got me? Good. Now I want you to tell me right now everything in the room or wherever you're at, which is red. Can you tell me? No, obviously, and logically, you won't be able to tell me all of the red things in the room because you were focusing on all yellow things. And that's a natural thing to happen. The same goes for being caught up in uncertainty and unpredicted change. If you are only focusing on the loss, on the problems, on the hurt, on the pain, which is very understandable, by the way, however, it will not allow you to focus on any solution or make you understand that you actually, in fact, have any other options. And that is exactly what happens to most of us when we are in the middle of this process. Do you remember how I said in the beginning of this episode that actually uncertainty can be quite a gift, even if it is painful? I really want to break it down with you right now what I was talking about because I really need you to shift your perspective on uncertain times. Okay, so hands down, if you're listening to my podcast or you're watching the episode on YouTube right now, most probably you have dreams and aspirations because all I'm talking about is how you can become your most happiest, fulfilled, and definitely your best self, right? Like all I want to do is motivate you to, go after your dreams, to live your desires because you do deserve that. And I don't know any human on this planet I have ever met that wouldn't have any dreams or aspirations, but let's be very honest. Most of us will not, for the sake of our life, risk anything in order to get those dreams which are not promised and risk their current life, even if their current life doesn't serve them whatsoever. What I'm saying is, if your current circumstances, your current lifestyle, your current life in general doesn't force you to change anything, whether it may be in relationships or career-wise or financially, it really doesn't matter. As long as we're not being forced, it is very unlikely for us to really move beyond our comfort zone. There is actually a really logical reason for that because it is our ego that is keeping us trapped. And yes, you've heard me say that right. It is our ego because even though we have those dreams and desires and we know we want to get there, it is our ego that is telling us to rather stay in a situation even if we're not appreciating it and it doesn't serve us well. Our ego is still telling us to remain there because that is what feels quote unquote safe. So even if you're not happy in your current circumstances of life, the possibility that you will change anything about it unless you are really forced to are, for most of us human beings, unfortunately, very unlikely. I'm sharing this with you because I don't want you to punish yourself for that or be like, oh, why am I not doing this? I'm sharing this with you because, as a matter of fact, it's actually quite natural for us people. And now here we go. This is exactly why I said in the beginning that actually uncertain times and unpredicted change can be really beneficial for us. In fact, oftentimes this is where the magic is at. It is no coincidence whatsoever that some of the most successful businesses out there have all been founded during crisis, during financial crisis, during the, situation we've been in the beginning of the decade. I'm not trying to put it out there because actually the algorithm is reading it and I don't need that. But what I'm saying is that when people are really forced outside of their comfort zone, maybe for personal or career reasons or like global crisis, there are in fact people who then literally grow bigger than themselves, see a problem we are dealing with, and then creating a solution that in so many cases have turned out to be the most successful businesses ever. I'm sharing this example with you right now because I need you to understand that this doesn't only go for global successful businesses, but also obviously for, people like you and me who are creating a solution in the times when they really do have a problem or when they have circumstances in their life that they cannot control and cannot remain in their current situation and then are actually forced to go after their dreams and goals. I definitely have experienced that myself. 8.5 years ago, we were living in a house that didn't serve us anymore. We couldn't really live there anymore for a couple of reasons. And we really wanted to move, but for some reason, we just didn't get it going. There were a couple of reasons for that. And then our then landlord actually canceled the lease because he wanted to sell the house. And in order to be able to sell it, he needed us to get out. You have no idea how scared I was at that moment in time because we only had a couple of weeks left. We had two very small children 8.5 years ago, and I was really, really scared. However, as I said before, we actually really wanted to move in the first place, and that was actually the moment in time when we were forced to look for another place, to look for another house, to really move beyond our comfort zone and look somewhere completely else. Because you might know the situation with two small children, you cannot just move any place, right? Like you really want to make sure your children are safe, the schools are good, etc., and so on. So we were really forced to buckle it down. And looking back at this example, I was able to see how this situation, and we were so scared at first, actually turned out to be one of our biggest blessings. And this is exactly how I ever since have been navigating through uncertain times, or especially with unpredicted change. I have been really trying to take a step back and look at whatever has been happening. How is it aligned with what I was actually going for in the first place? Because if you're able to take that step back and look for the blessings in the situation and how it will inevitably change your life, because you're forced now, right? Like you need to buckle down. How can this turn out to be your greatest blessing after all? And I challenge you right now to look back on your life and take a look at all the dramatic situations. How have they, after all, changed your life? Maybe it took a couple of months. Maybe it even took a couple of years or decades. But I'm telling you, most of the times you will, in fact, find a blessing in those uncertain times or even unpredicted changes. I so understand, and I truly believe every person does, that when you are in the middle of uncertainty, in the middle of, trying to figure out about this unpredicted change, that you feel lost and you're like, what? Here's no blessing whatsoever. What is she talking about? I get you. I have been facing situations like that on a much grander scale, okay? Much more grand scale, after all, in the past couple of years too. However, coming from this experience and a couple of more serious experiences, I may say, I did understand that sometimes we do not see those blessings in that immediate moment. But it is important to stay open to it so we can actually then move forward and start seeing our options, maybe even solutions, which you otherwise won't be able to. No matter where you are at right now in your life, no matter what season you are in, if you are currently going through uncertain times, or if you are trying to handle unpredicted change, I just want you to know you are not alone in this. This time shall pass too, and you will be fine. Do not, I repeat, do not and never give up on yourself. Do never give up on your life because you deserve it so much. I truly hope this episode was able to help you on so many levels. If you have any more questions, please make sure to get back to me. If you've been loving this episode and this podcast, please make sure to leave it a 5-star review on your most favorite podcast platform. That will help my little podcast out so much. Thank you so much. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe to not miss out on any other episode. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.